was thinking a young man came here, his parents were immigrants from Russia. Now you can probably get Tito on the telephone if you want to. Do you know, did you meet him when you were...
As a matter of fact, when my wife and I were on a goodwill tour for the State Department, that was years ago, yeah. We went to Yugoslavia, and it was very funny because I was at Ambassador Elbrick's house, and I said, gee, I'd like to see President Tito while we're here. And he said, oh, you can't see him. Here's the English ambassador here, has been waiting 6 weeks to present his credentials, and he still hasn't seen him. So I said, well, why don't we call the liaison officer? And we did. And the next day, President Tito sent his plane to pick up my wife and me, and we went to Ljubljana, and we spent about 2 hours with him. Had a wonderful talk. And when I came back the next day and had lunch with the ambassador, Elbricks, and this English ambassador was there, and he said, I say, old chap, what's this? I've been waiting 6 weeks. He says, and I understand you went yesterday and had 2 hours. How'd that happen? I said, Mr. Ambassador, how many movies have you made? The fact is, President Tito really loves movies and yes. Sees a movie almost every night.
I heard this, that he does...
During that time, I said to him that if I had the chance, I would like to make a movie in Yugoslavia. So it wasn't until years later that my wife and I made this picture, Scalawag, which we shot there.
Last time you told some hair-raising stories about times you've been hurt making an old flicka. Have you been hurt?
Well, I find myself
violent, isn't it?
Attempting to become increasingly more conservative. And in Scalawag, which is the first picture I ever directed, I found myself trying to be very careful of the actors, because I realized what happens is, you see, whenever an actor is doing something, he gets all keyed up, and he does a lot of things that he wouldn't normally do. You get so excited about things. For instance, in Scalawag, we had lots of times when men were jumping off cliffs and actors were jumping into the rapids, and I think things that they would never normally do. Mm-hmm.
Because you were paying them so little.
That's right.
Is there a violence problem on your rating with the film? What does it aim for? A G? Is that the most desirable for
when I did the picture, what I was hoping to do was, you see, I have made so many pictures that parents won't take their kids to see, that I wanted to make a picture that would be something that parents could go to see with their kids. And I hadn't made one since 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So Scalawag is a G-rated picture. It's a picture I think that kids would like. And I hope it's a picture that instead of parents dropping their kids off to see it, it might be something that they will go and see with them.
Wasn't there a nudity problem in one scene or something? Or?
Well, there was a discussion. I had to appeal it, and I didn't take the scene out because I don't think it was a nudity scene. It was a girl bathing way off in the distance in the water.
Yeah.
And
really? Wow.
And I mean, it takes a lot of imagination to think that that was a nudity problem.
What about violence? What do they have to take out? How bad does it have to be?
There's a lot of... I had a discussion on that. You know, the whole rating system is very peculiar, you know, because everything depends on interpretation, you know. For instance, I think this question of violence is a more serious one for children than nudity. Mm-hmm. For example, in England, and you have a couple of English performers coming on, you ask them in England, their standards are much looser about nudity, but they're much stricter about violence. And I think here we have much more of a problem with violence. So when I was making Scalawag, for example, although it has lots of action, I never used any blood. I never showed bodies. If bodies were falling off cliff, I never showed a body hitting rocks. I would always cut away from an actual concentration of violence.
Well, that's terrific. Then the kids can see the movie and think that you can fall off a cliff and not get hurt. Nice going. Maybe to satisfy the American censor, if they're worried about nudity and they don't like nudity but they don't mind violence, if you had the obvious logical answer then is to have a nude being beaten up. And then that takes the curse off her being nude, which is absolutely immoral of her, but if you beat her up, that's all right, because some strange things come out of this. So, can we take a look at a scene from this? Is this a violent scene? Will I be...
No, I think if this is the scene that I think you have, it's just a simple scene with Mark Lester, who plays the young boy, and it's a scene where he is, the character I play, the one-legged character, is showing off for the young character played by Mark Lester.
Okay. Roll that. You're a lot of fun to have around.
The scene doesn't show that he really has only all through the picture, he only has one peg leg.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been just as easier to have a crutch or something? Well, why do you, that must have been murder to...
Well, you know,
Scrap that
I've
leg
always
up
been
like
interested in the fact that when people do a scene, see, the character I play is really a mixture of Long John Silver and Jesse James. It's really pirates on horseback. And it's always intrigued me, of course, when you think of it, I've always been intrigued by those things. I've had an eye taken out in the Vikings, an ear cut off in Lust for Life, and in Scalawag, I play it all with one leg. And it was an interesting challenge.
Reducing yourself as the years go by.
Exactly, cutting myself down.
We're not getting even the entire Kirk Douglas in this movie. It's a jip. How did they strap it? Are you unusually limber, or were they able to strap it right up?
You see, what you do, you take I take this leg, and put it right up there. You see?
I think I can do that.
And strap that.
Oh yeah, I can.
And put it up. Put it right. Ah!
I hope you made a wish. Oh. Thanks. Well.
No, as a matter of fact,
thanks,
then
Kirk.
they have something molded to this part, and I could only wear it like about 5 minutes at a time. So I'd have something fit over here, then have the trousers fitting right over it, but I had a quick way to unzip it and get it off, because you could only, you'd rehearse the scene and then shoot it, and you could only wear it for about at 5-minute intervals.
And then a masseuse would run in and
just about,
massage
that's
the
right.
thing to keep it from masseuse.
But once I had it for 15 minutes, and I couldn't wear it for about 3-4 days.
That'd be a little dangerous. Thank you, though, for breaking my right leg. Interesting to see if there's anything I can do now that I couldn't do before. That's incredible. Sorry about that crack about the nose. I guess that really got to you. We'll be right back after this message.